as you guys know, on last week's major expansion of interest in the project I'm doing, Tell the Truth, Cenk, a documentary about work, a documentary about dignity, consent, professionalism. That's not what it's about. I mean, it's a professional documentary, I like to think. A documentary about forming a union at the Young Turks, about the lie that they told their audience that the union was started by outsiders in order to hurt Cenk's campaign. Completely wild, completely crazy thing to make up and put out without doing any fact checking, which is what they did. Anna helped him, and the company has still not retracted or apologized. So the film is about getting them to finally retract. Again, as I said earlier in the show, I don't believe Cenk Uygur is capable of a sincere apology, but he should try to give one out there anyway. At least the action would mean something. But just retract. Just tell the truth. Just tell your audience that you didn't give them the honest story about why, when, and for what reason, which is what why means. A union started at the Young Turks. So now that it's getting a lot more attention, thanks to Emma Vigeland mentioning the union busting in a tweet responding to, or in a quoted tweet of her colleague, Matt Leck, Majority Report has had some beefing, I suppose would be the word, with TYT. It all kind of culminates to around this Polymarket Studio, which is the Young Turks studio, the formal name. Cenk sold the naming rights to a company owned by Peter Thiel. He says he didn't know at the time. But that's been bandied about within this lefty space, within some of this stuff. And it all kind of came to a head, and I got a lot more attention than I've ever gotten on Twitter or in any phase of my life. Honestly, I find birthdays embarrassing for the amount of attention it gets me. Leave me alone, Mom and Dad. I mean, let's go out for Chinese, but leave me the fuck alone. Everybody's talking though, and so let's watch the Leftist Mafia address this whole thing with TYT. I know a ton of people are interested in my story, probably also interested in a whole bunch of this other stuff. My story is this very strange. I don't want to say it's strange, but it could have been excluded from this process. I didn't have to do this. I was compelled to, the same way you're compelled to fight back against a bully. I didn't decide to do it, but I decided to finish it. That kind of thing, you know what I mean? And I'm so looking forward to being on the other side of it, because it has cost me a tremendous amount of time and effort and energy, and for very little money. So please consider supporting the project. Look in the description for links. 3 years of work on something, so throw me a $5 if you enjoyed the film, or if you want to see it through to the end, because we're gonna make Cenk Uygur the face of union busting, and it'll be 2025's group project for the left. That'll be fun. Here's the Leftist Mafia going on about it. I've got some things bookmarked, but let's just kind of like wade into their opening gambit and see what commentary comes out of it here at the start of their discussion from the week that it all went down.
Well, there was a major TYT contributor who quit this week, and he was on Benjamin Dixon's show. Shout out to Benjamin Dixon, who did a really interesting interview, and I listened live to the spaces that was being hosted as well about that. I think because this week also Anna came out with an episode on Glenn Beck's show. If anyone's not familiar, Glenn Beck is a right-wing commentator in the United States, previously a host of Fox News, who was too crazy for Fox News, and he's been running the Blaze ever since. And he's also notably one of the people who was pushing a lot of Obama's racist towards white people stuff and making that popular back in the day. And he sucks. He's just a horrible, bad human, and really shitty to see her going on that show and normalizing a lot of discourse surrounding, the idea that the left are hyper orthodox. They are a cult. You're unable to step out of line if you do even slightly don't agree with them on 90% of issues. They will dogpile you and all the same talking points over and over and over and all that weird shit. And I guess some of that came to a headway with her feuding with Majority Report, Cenk feuding with Majority Report, them calling out Sam Cedar, amongst other people, and them fighting publicly on Twitter, which was really sad to see.
With the girl, I saw that they were going back and forth. Emma and her also were going back and forth. I seen that when I had popped in for a little bit, but that was really interesting to see, because I know that at one point a few years ago they were like friends. So to see that was I mean, not surprising because your friend could be a bad person. I'm talking about Anna Kasparian. Like she could turn out to be, Satan, and you don't have to be attached to that. And you can still speak up about that. I don't like when Anna comes out and she says things like, "I made you." Like that's the vibe that she tries to give. Like I made you.
They
I
both
put
give
you
that
here.
vibe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They both give
True.
that vibe.
Yeah.
Not you throwing shade. Okay, but yeah, that the group of people there. But Anna, who is, I think,
Oh no,
one
not
of the-
Emma. I'm so sorry. I meant Cenk. Cenk and Anna.
yes. Okay.
Sorry,
that's
yeah,
right.
I just
No,
wanna make-
okay. Girls,
yeah.
I just want to
but they
clarify
both,
that.
they both give that vibe. Absolutely. Please,
Little
yes,
Shots
girl, 'cause
fired at Emma.
they will be here saying,
No, I love
you
Emma.
good. She
No, we love
clarified, you
Emma.
guys. It's not Emma, but she was saying the main host, Cenk and Anna. But they do both give that vibe. I made you. I put you here. And anytime somebody says anything on the internet, and then her responses, Anna, I'm talking about. It's like she goes into this whole like, so you're mad that she'll say like I feel like her response to Emma gave like, I made you, and here you are talking that mess for about unions, whatever that comment was. And then she went on to kind of say something about nothing. Like, you, Emma, want to stick up for the homeless. Like that's out of control. Like that's like how she'll just add that to the that's not what she said, y'all. But that's kind of like what she adds to every response. And it's like, girl, when did Anna get like that? But then again, like I said, I've saw some old stuff of her. I feel like she's always been like that. And she just grifts with the times. And now I think she's planted herself right where she wanted to be this whole entire time. It sucks to see.
She said that Emma is okay with people getting punched on the subway. I think that was the accusation, which was just kind of out of left field. Like, wait, what?
So I don't know the full story, so forgive me, but I'm confident that this is the case, is that Emma was punched herself. She had an encounter that was very unpleasant, that she, from which some of that comes from. I'm not sure where the bougie stuff it comes from. There's a lot of willful misunderstandings happening. I think it's fair to say that there's emotions here flowing within this system, causing people to be a little less willing to sit with the other person's arguments and ideas. I'm not trying to suggest that they're equal stature standing. I don't think it's fair to do that for all arguments. I don't in this case, but with these battle lines kind of being drawn with the side on the left, Cenk would deem the max or radical or extreme or identitarian left. Anna would also use those terms. She likes the word identitarian. Maximalist left, they say. All phraseology that sources from right-wing reverberation sphere, that they're drawing stark lines too. Like they're drawing very clear lines that are designed, in my opinion, to appeal to audiences further to the right or to the center. Not that I'm saying even that's necessarily a bad thing. I think of making a project of saying, hey, we need to try to get in touch. We need to try to understand these people. We need to try to reach out to them. Makes a ton of sense. Part of Anna's pivot is that she said that I thought that all MAGA people were evil and monstrous. I'm not quoting directly, but she makes it clear that she has since learned that they're not the way, the demonized version that they were. And I never thought that. My dad's a Trump supporter, and I love my dad to death. I have conflicting feelings about a lot of that. He's not like the type of people they interview at the rallies. But like, if that's what you believed about them, I think that's shows where you were the whole time. But I don't actually think that's what she believed. I think that that's what the story goes. I no longer believe that you guys were all terrible, as a way of saying the people who I am now in disagreement with, my former comrades, that Anna would never use the word comrade, but my former cohort on the left, they still believe like I used to. So it's a way of telling that story, and then but applying that to whom you've left, to the group that you no longer associate with or that you're trying to distance yourself from. There's a lot of subtle stuff like that are in this whole story anyway. But let's just keep going. This is good.
We're seeing these people unravel, but I feel like, do we think it's going to be the end of Anna? Because I feel like it's fueling the people to follow her. Well, the right to follow her more.
I think they're trying to, like, there's only so much you can appeal to, say, progressives in the US as a market, and if you start appealing to a new demographic, which would be the center right to the right, you might find people who are interested in your content from that POV. I don't know to what degree of success, right? Like, I don't know if that is going to result in them becoming the centrist darling childs that they're trying to really carve a position out for themselves, but you know, I guess we'll see.
It's just I think that Benjamin Dixon put it best on The Vanguard when he said, we need progressive media now more than ever.
Yeah.
Because we're facing actual fascism, and now is when they're choosing to buddy up with the fascists, and that's so dangerous. And it's not just dangerous because we're losing that resource, because I don't think there's any coming back from this. I think they're on a very clear trajectory. But you know, aside from us just losing that resource, they're also taking their progressive audience that trusts them, and they're moving them to the right. They're planting these seeds that maybe some transphobia is okay. You know, hysteria over crime is okay. Let's not talk about the systemic issues. And I think that that's really wrong, because they're basically conditioning their audience to be more reactionary and to be open to these right-wing talking points. So a lot of people will shift to the right with them, which really scares me, which is why I think that right now, I don't consider this drama anymore. I view it as a responsibility to call them out, until nobody views them as left. So like Jimmy Dore, Dave Rubin, we all kind of focus on them. And then once it's pretty clear that they're not left wing and people don't perceive them that way, we all move on. Because the goal, even though it's fun to dunk on them and, you know, take shots at people who are stupid, the ultimate goal is to make sure that people understand that these are not left-wing actors, and what they say is not representative of the left. They don't embody the ideals of left-wingers. And we're not like trying to gatekeep, but the problem is that if you try to
I don't know, Mike, it sounds like you're trying to be the one true leftist, the Highlander of leftists, you know? That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, you're just trying to steal their audience.
Well, you know what? Let's just we'll steal that branding. Leftist Mafia, home of progressives.
No, winners and losers is the home of progressives. What if I like pulled a string and there's like a big curtain with a neon sign?
Come and take it from us. It's like capture the flag.
I'm gonna unionize the home of progressives, leftist mafia. If you guys keep it up.